you want put back in the game? Give it up for Joe. 3-0. 3-3-0. Joe Biden. Time to bind it up, folks. We're going to bind it up. Bind it up because Joe Biden wants to be back in the game, everybody. Joe Biden wants back in as he volunteers to help the Democrats. I wonder if he's going to be on that tour for the oligarchy, to fight the oligarchy. I wonder if Bernie Sanders' good friend Joe will be there. He's here, everybody. Give it up for Joe Biden.
All right, Democrats' approval ratings have never been lower, but honestly, have no fear. There's a superstar waiting in the wings to save them. NBC News is reporting that former President Joe Biden has told some Democratic leaders that he'll raise funds, campaign, and do anything else necessary to help the party recover lost ground. One major Biden supporter spoke for many Democrats by asking, quote, who's going to want Joe Biden back in the game? Let's ask our panel.
But this is the best Joe Biden ever. No. Come on. We got to bring Joe Biden back, man. Just for laughs. Just for giggles. Come on. Please. I need this. I need this for laughter. I got to see Joe Biden just saying, put me back in, coach. I'm ready.
And Dean, who wants Joe Biden back in the game besides Dr. Jill Biden?
We need a fresh face. So this 82-year-old kid from Scranton, I think is going to really shake things up.
Real fighter.
You want a glib answer or a real one? The real political thing, there could be certain districts that are on the front line that are purplish districts or even slightly red, where Joe Biden comes to run for you for Congress, he can raise money and get you a lot of press, right? So that for most Democrats, I don't think they're going to want to. But the one thing I'll say is 2026 is 2 years away. The longer a president's out of office, their approval tends to slide up. By 2020.
No, you are a moron. What are you talking about? This is a Joe Biden who didn't know where he was at. Why are you even praising him? You need to address the fact that, yes, everybody knew that Joe Biden had some cognitive issues. Early onset dementia, Alzheimer's. The man is a senile old goat. He doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. And somehow his approval rating is going to go up? BSDNC, listen, you could do so much better.
He might be at like a 52% approval rating. I'm not kidding. This is what happens. Right. So there are some Democrats where he can raise money and he can get you press in a local election.
But 2 years from now, he may be 2 years older and a little bit slower. Yeah, he will be, and a little bit slower. And
Joe Biden will be a little bit slower, And the thing is, that's going to make somebody cry. That might make Van Jones cry.
I don't know anything about politics.
Oh God. And that's when he was crying when Joe Biden said he was dropping out of the race.
So again, you're talking about the kind of energy and the momentum that you want in a midterm, and whether or not you would want that image.
Are you asking me? I'm not officially running yet.
No, I know.
If I do run in 2026, I'm not sure if I want Joe Biden next. If I'm running in Manhattan, I think I might wait.
All right. So, Francesca, my view on this is that we're here partly because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden did not step out of the race soon enough and open and have a primary that would have allowed other candidates. And nothing against the vice president. She probably would have been the nominee, but it did not go through a legitimate process in the same kind of rigorous way that it could have had Joe Biden not insisted on running when everybody saw that he could not run. But just give me your thoughts here. I mean, now he thinks he can help. What do you make of this?
Here's what I will say. I'll give him some points because at this time into
Francesca, hush, puppy. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, seriously, what? You're going to give him some points? No. Joe Biden running was the death blow for the Democrats in 2024. He said he's going to be a one-term president, and he lied because he got caught with his pants down.
To Barack Obama leaving office, he was like parasailing with Richard Branson. So there is that. He's doing better than that. And yes, it is an all hands on deck moment. But what does it say about the Democratic Party that Joe Biden's like, God, you guys look kind of weak. You need my help? And it's like,
no. Joe Biden ruined the Democrat Party because so many people, especially a lot of people with influence, those who used to even be on TYT, looking at you. I mean, I remember how everybody was against forced to vote. I remember Francesca before falling out with TYT saying, we got to let the Democrats keep their powder dry. No, Joe Biden running is what ruined everything, okay? Joe Biden running in 2020 and 2024. That's what cost the Democrats their credibility. I mean, Joe Biden saying, wow, you guys are looking weak. It's because he's the one who took a big sloppy dump in the middle of the room and says, hey, who dropped that there?
This is a terrible thing. I mean, this is a really bad look. And the only thing I honestly want to hear out of Joe Biden's mouth is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not dropping out of the race earlier. And not only that, going farther back, I'm sorry that I didn't fight harder for the Build Back Better bill. I'm sorry that I said the Republicans would have an epiphany and I wanted to work with them. And they never had an epiphany.
But people who had these... I remember TYT and Majority Report, everyone carrying water for Joe Biden. I'm not crazy. I'm not having a meltdown here. I'm not going to snap here. But I remember so many people saying this is the best Joe Biden ever. And Joe Biden coming back in the game now. It's like, oh, well, we don't want him back in. You guys are the ones that created that Frankenstein monster. You pumped him up. You praised him. You loved him so much, and all of you were happy to go and brunch on 2020.
Right? I'm sorry that Merrick Garland wasn't quicker to hold Donald Trump accountable for January 6th and so many other crimes. I'm sorry that justice moved so slow under my watch. I want to hear a lot of things out of Joe Biden, but honestly, I feel truly that we are on the wrong timeline, y'all. Like, maybe 2020 shouldn't have gone down the way it went down.
Yeah.
Maybe it should have been Bernie from jump.
Oh, you think? It should have been. But he was a nutless wonder and a cuck. That's why. And whenever he said during debates, my good friend Joe, my good friend Joe, my good friend Joe, my good friend Joe. Yeah, pretty much. And then, of course, the infamous Super Tuesday phone call where Barack Obama, I made a phone call. I tell Buttigieg, that little Skaven, to drop out. I told Amy Klobuchar, as I was dodging everything that she was throwing at me, to drop out. And they supported my good friend Joe. And then Bernie, he bent over backwards, spread his eagle, and said, all right, I'm going to support my good friend Joe. And that's what happened.
If you look at Joe Biden, I mean, you know, he thinks that he may have some influence in the party. I have to say he's mistaken. At least certainly the poll numbers suggest that. CNN poll shows only 1% of voters think Joe Biden best reflects the values of the Democratic Party. We're not even talking about whether he's effective or not. I mean, literally 1% think he reflects the values of the Democratic Party. And to kind of put that in comparison for you, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are actually polling better than Joe Biden on this issue about reflecting the core values of the Democratic Party. What does that tell you?
It's probably not a good idea for him to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that one of the interesting things is that it shows the vapidness that's at the core of the party right now, where the person who left and his spouse are like, maybe we should go back. We can actually do a better job than what we are seeing right now. And I think that that just says a lot about the party. It's actually an indictment on the party. It's not so much about the headspace of those two. It is how bad, even from their standpoint as insiders, things are going for the party.
And why is that? Why do you think it is so bad for the Democratic Party right now? To Francesca's point, AOC, Bernie Sanders are out there, and I'm not trying to make it about them. I'm just trying to say there are people out there who can pack an auditorium in deep red America in the middle of dead winter with, you know, thousands of people, hundreds of people spilling into overflow rooms. And yet somehow the Democratic Party and its leadership are unable to tap that.
Because leadership are clearly out of step with where their party is. That's why the rest of the party isn't listening to them. And therefore they have declining popularity because they're not actually reflecting where their party is. I mean, and also alongside of that is that they also have a credibility problem. That is to say, if you have spent 2 years saying that Donald Trump is a mortal threat to democracy, and there is an argument that that threat is manifesting, if you then are seen to be cooperating,
hey, listen, man, everybody be nice. Bad cookies. You and a couple of your friends, half the audience, get up, go see the White House counselor. Everyone's going to the White House counselor, all right? Half the audience go to the White House counselor. I need volunteers, okay? Bad cookies, though, you're being voluntold.
pandering, mealy-mouthing, that with that particular regime, then people don't believe you. And so why would they listen to you? Why would they believe that you that they should follow your lead? And what's happening is that the people that are in the party are seeing record crowd.
Scott Tuff on Rumble gives this Rumble rant. tipped $1. Thank you so much. Democrats bringing out the zombies. Biden to get the Walking Dead vote. Yeah, I remember when The Walking Dead used to be a good TV show.
Crowds that are larger than were forecast. And we're also seeing people lead themselves locally, where they are organizing themselves. And I think that that is a warning sign that there has to either be a change of leadership or the crack up here is going to be in the Democratic Party.
Your final thought on this, the ability for people like AOC, Bernie Sanders to, with the fight oligarchy, gain traction, and then yet others are still out of touch.
Here's what we are all seeing. There's not a Democratic identity crisis. There's a Democratic leadership crisis. The base, we know what we're about. Our values haven't changed. People call my show before the election the same people and after.
Wait,
we know what we're about. I have a radio show.
Oh, man, you are really jumping down his throat about that radio show. Like, what does dude do to you? Like, aha, you're on radio. Like, damn, man. Holy cow. Hey, you know what? Hold on. This warrants it because listen, if you're gonna be telling people on radio, here's what MSNBC thinks about it.
And here's what I think about it.
I need to come with I'm working on some more visuals to put in there. Like I said, I'm having too much fun.
I was just waiting how long it was going to be before you were going to plug the show again.
I got my little paddle. I'm going to hold up.
Damn, he's like, yeah, don't plug your show on my show unless I do it. I do it for you once and that's it. That's the favor. Damn, man. Dude, you're a little bit petty here on MSNBC, huh? Aren't you?
That's right, exactly.
No, but I'm saying that the base knows what we want. We want fighters. It's not progressive versus moderates like some people in corporate media are saying. It's fighters versus those who won't fight. People want fighters. Our values have not changed as the base. I can tell you that. That's why Bernie and AOC are resonating. That's where the party is. The energy fighters. That's what we want.
And we're going to talk about that after the break. When we come back, Democrats.
No, you're not going to be talking about any of that, all right? Because all I'm seeing is Biden, or is it that people still hyping up Biden and somehow he's still relevant? Look, Joe Biden as a president was not only an epic failure, but my goodness, how many bullets have we dodged with that man in office? Who was in charge of the Biden-Harris administration? It clearly wasn't Kamala Harris as VP because the vice president and president, as we covered on the show during the past 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration, they clearly were not communicating or coordinating with each other properly. The only times when they looked like they were smiling is because it was a coordinated event, and that's it. I mean, Kamala Harris hemorrhaged so many staff members. What was it like working for her? It might have been a bloody nightmare. And then, of course, you had Joe Biden, who wasn't there mentally. And, I remember getting canceled and censored and being told, oh, we don't know what we're talking about, but turns out we were correct. I remember TYT and Majority Report and all these other vote blue, no matter who, people saying this was our best Joe Biden, constantly being sellouts to the Democrats. And now the Democratic Party is having an identityship crisis. It's because of people submitting their power to the establishment. You gave up power. You gave up freedom. You gave up the right of choice, and I'm supposed to feel sorry for you? I find it funny that now you can't get rid of Mr. Magoo. Old man Biden, he's done. He's out. Live with it. But it's funny. He wants to be back in the game, Jack, because it's the best Joe Biden ever. The Joe Biden who doesn't even know what he did 5 minutes ago.